Boy, oh boy, do we have a scrap of mighty warriors for you. I'm a Rubber Duck War, but today we're taking a look at another Champion of Renown tournament game. This was from the round of 32, and we have FELKON facing off against KAALHAARMAN. Both these players you expect to see in the latter stages of the tournament. So it's a bit of a shame they do meet each other so early on, but it is also a joy because we get to watch a fight between these two tactical masterminds, and lo and behold, it is a disgusting mirror match. We have Wood Elves versus Wood Elves. Now in these best of one rounds, it can certainly be very scary. You know, your opponents kind of counterpicked you really hard. So what do? You put them on the back foot and you go for a mirror match. We did see a previous mirror match in this round already, Beastmen versus Beastmen, but this time it is the dreaded Wood Elf versus Wood Elf. And as far as mirror matches go, it's actually one of my favorite ones because it's fast, it's hard hitting, and it's very exciting. One or two micro mistakes or one or two micro moments of genius from your opponent, and the game can certainly be all over. Now this is the last game we're going to be showcasing from the round of 32, but today at 7 PM GMT, so probably like an hour or so after this video is released, we are doing the round of 16, all of those battles in one live stream for you guys here on the channel, so stay tuned for that as well. But let's delve into this first. So FELKON is going to be in the forces of green today, very fitting for the Wood Elves, so let's delve into his build nice and quickly. We do have a Wave Stalker up in the front, just on his own little toddler there. He's coming with the Arrows of Kurnos, but that's about it. In the front line, we have Eternal Guard and Dryads, about as cheap and cheerful as you can physically get for the force of the Wood Elves, but, you know, they're pretty expensive for normal cheap troops. And this is, once again, guys, the the Champion of Renown tournament, so it's Ultra Funds, and you must take 3 Regiments of Renown. And we do have 2 of them in the front line here, the Winterheart Guard, as well as the Wraiths of the Frozen Heart. In the central pocket, we do have 4 units of Deepwood Scouts, which is nice to see. No Swift Shiver Shards, unfortunately, but hey, Deepwood Scouts are still particularly cool units. More Eternal Guard in the flanks, and in the back, we have Glade Riders mixed in with Wild Riders. I think going very cav heavy in this matchup with Spear support and Bow support is certainly the way to go. So Glade Riders on the flanks, Wild Riders in the middle, including the Wild Hunters of Kurnos. Look how beautiful these models are. I love their color scheme. They look so vicious. Their kind of ethereal eyes glowing as they ride you down. We have some more Eternal Guard in the deep as well, and up in the skies we actually have the Sisters of Twilight on their mighty dragon. You don't get to see them on their dragon terribly often, but holy crap, this dragon looks so cool. I didn't realize how much, I think it's just the color scheme so much different. It looks more mossy and ancient than your regular forest dragon, and you can't get much cooler than being an elf surfboarding on the head of a dragon. Honestly, it doesn't get much better whatsoever. So we do have the Sisters of Twilight coming in. Of course, they are kind of conjoined destiny, as well as their knockoff Arrows of Kurnos. Really fun build there. For the forces of KAALHAARMAN, one of the best Lizmen players in the realms as well. We are going to get to see his Wood Elves in action today. We have Glade Riders on the left-hand side, supported as well by Wild Riders. So it looks like both minds thinking relatively similar here. A bucket ton of cavalry, though perhaps a lot more cavalry here from KAALHAARMAN himself. We have Sisters of Thorn, more Wild Hunters of Kurnos, more Wild Riders, and more Glade Riders on the right-hand flank. In the main front line, it's actually the majority Dryads, so very little Eternal Guard here. Just Dryads, Wraiths of the Frozen Heart, and more Dryads dotted all the way along. A couple of Deepwood Scouts in that central pocket, both of which are Swift Shiver Shards. KAALHAARMAN trying to win me over. We're trying to remain unbiased, but come on, Swift Shiver Shards are so freaking awesome. And then down on the ground, we do have the Wardens of Sith Royale. These are anti-large Wildwood Rangers, so it looks like KAALHAARMAN is going to be kind of taking less spears, but the ones he have brought are particularly hard-hitting, and a load more cavalry as well. Up in the skies, we do indeed have a Glade Lady by the looks of her, if we can actually get onto her. There she is. It is a Glade Lady. No, it's a Glade Lord. Oh my god, the madness. We have a Glade Lord on an eagle. This is bizarre. I don't know if I've ever seen him on an eagle. I've seen him on a dragon before, but he's coming to the Helm of Discord, looking to float around and hop on top of those big, juicy cavalry charges when the battle lines do commit. This is a really interesting build coming in. We also have a Branch Wraith down on the ground, so it should be a good, fun scrap. I'm very excited for this one, actually. It's going to be some pretty crazy stuff. FELKON has the range advantage, but can he protect it against so much cavalry? Swift Shiver Shard's going to do some 360 no-scopes, lining up on the Sisters of Twilight before rather wisely dodging backwards, duking the majority of the shots coming in from the deep woods. However, the Sisters of Twilight, a little bit harder to dodge, and they get in there with some big, fat, juicy burst damage. Relatively decent, actually, at taking down those skirmish formation units because of the spread of their magical missiles. You can see the beams coming in, slaying many an elf. This is brother on brother, kin on kin violence right now. The Atha Lauren Woods shall be crying, unless you're Drycha, of course. You're probably loving this. Big fat juicy breath attack is going to come in on the Wild Riders. Looks like it is not able to be juked a tiny bit too late there by the KAALHAARMAN, and you can see a load of Wild Riders do go down. That is not a good start, unfortunately, for them, but they have plenty more Wild Riders than their opponents, so plenty more to give, and at the same time they are using up a decent amount of ammunition on the Sisters of Twilight, and look at that HP drop. Sisters taking quite a bit of punishment. They do, of course, have Conjoined Destiny. They will be able to regenerate, but only if they survive long enough for that to actually proc and pop into battle, because the Glade Lord is going to be a big pain in the butt, hunting her down, poking it from long range. You can see those good old shots coming in. They will track as well, and it's pretty hard to juke on a big slumberous dragon compared to the rather swift eagle in comparison. The Wood Scouts are currently opening up on the front line at beautiful target priority. This is why I actually like the Swift Shiver Shards, is because they get through any physical resistance, and Wood Elves can bring a decent amount of it, but hey, the Wood Scouts are a bit cheaper, and they get the same job done. We can see the Swift Shivers have pulled back quite a bit here for KAALHAARMAN, not wanting to commit to a ranged fight so they stand no chance in winning. And now the Glade Lord is being focused down by the Sister of Twilight, which is a little bit scary. Definitely wants to get out of there and try to fall back and perhaps heal up as well, if that Branch Wraith does indeed come in with any healing. For some reason, the cursor doesn't want to work today too well. Looks like we do have Earthblood as well as a Pendulum. Now, the cavalry of FELKON is going to be driving forward before actually checking themselves and falling back. However, the Wild Hunters of Kurnos shall know no fear, and they charge in. Lances lowered into the Warden's, however, so they're going to be taking a decent amount of damage in retaliation. The Wardens are about to get a nasty rear charge as well from more Wild Riders, clattering them from all sides, and now Dryads are tangled up in a big old flustercluck in the central portion of the battlefield. You can see Wild Riders as well trying to drive hard into the Dryads and overwhelm them. We are going to get a rather nasty Pendulum come down on the Wild Hunters. Oh my god, what a hit! Really nasty work there coming in by FELKON's Branch Wraith. The Deepwood Scouts with Swift Shiver Shards are pushing forward once more, trying to get into good positions, and it does look like, for the most part, KAALHAARMAN has crushed this left-hand flank with the support of his Wild Riders and Glade Riders. In the main fight, however, FELKON's doing a really decent job. His cavalry is pushing out and pouncing, and then falling back behind Spear and Dryad support where possible, although it looks like some Dryads are starting to force their way through onto all of his ranged troops, which is a big problem, because so much of FELKON's power is in this ranged force, and the Dryads are getting nice and aggressive now. We do get a big fat hill go down on the Glade Riders, as well as the Wild Hunters of Kurnos overwhelming the Glade Riders, which is quite nice down here on the low ground. The Glade Lord simply is not going to match for the Sisters, though, and takes some huge damage. The Deepwood Scouts loose a big old volley up into the skies, and the Sisters are hunting him down. Looks like he does get cheeky Earthblood on him, try to heal him up and fall back and come back to live and fight another day. Now it's FELKON's turn this time to strike out from his defensive position, using his Wild Riders to ram down the poor Deepwood Scouts and really start overwhelming, and there's not too much back here, unfortunately, for KAALHAARMAN to support, and his own push has started to stall. It looks like all the Deepwood Scouts are still alive. Glade Riders, Eternal Guard, Dryads all pin their lives on the line to pin in the enemy. However, this could be a big turning point. We do have Wild Riders pinning in the Sisters with Dryad support. More Dryads are on the warpath as well, trying to drag down the Sisters of Twilight into the dirt so their mighty steeds can trample them. However, some lovely Scroll of Shielding counterplay there, as well as just trying to push back towards friendly territory by FELKON. Does look like the Sister of Twilight should be able to escape that Scroll of Shielding, coming in quite clutch and nice. And it looks like, from what I can see on the battlefield, the battle is just being dominated right now by the green Wood Elves. In the distance, the Glade Lord has started to run for his life, and the Wild Riders are just nom eating up those Deepwood Scouts, both of which are kind of done for. A lovely breath attack comes down to those Wild Riders, and I think that is basically gonna be the game. The Sisters do pounce now, and they have absolute free reign. There's nothing we can hit them hard enough to stop them proccing that Conjoined Destiny, and it looks like KAALHAARMAN, the mighty KAALHAARMAN I should say, is unfortunately going to be bowing out of this tournament, where we shall be seeing FELKON into the round of 16, and perhaps longer. You'll have to find out tonight when we do showcase all of those games on live stream. A Pyrrhic victory, a really good fun mirror match as well, very tactical. I like both builds. They're similar in certain ways, and both of them overcompensated in others as well. FELKON much more range damage potential with the Sisters and the extra Deepwood Scouts. However, KAALHAARMAN, that mass cav, the Helm of Discord, which unfortunately couldn't really be popped because he was kept at bay so nicely by those pesky Sisters of Twilight. Really awesome game by both players though. As I said before, this easily could have been a final. These are kind of the players you expect to see in a final of a tournament like this. So meeting in the round of 32 is a little bit unfortunate for both of them. But hey, you got to beat the best to win the tournament, right? And that's what FELKON has indeed managed to pull off today. Really awesome work. Really awesome work. I quite like the Sisters of Twilight here, though the Glade Lord as well does have a certain place in my heart for being a really badass lord. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. We will delve into the damage dealt and damage value of all of these units in just a second, but if you guys enjoyed, make sure to leave a thumbs up, make sure to subscribe, and make sure to comment down below what you thought of the battle. I'll get a ton of links as well in the description to my Twitch, where I'm going to be streaming some games relatively soon, getting back on that this week, as well as links to my Discord, where you can submit replays, get involved in the tournament scene, all that good kind of juicy stuff. And yeah, I'll get a ton of links down below. Feel free to check them out. Anyway, back to the battle. Mighty FELKON, 80 kills on the Sisters. I really like them on their Dragon as well, but those breath attacks can help actually clear out a decent amount of Wild Riders and Great Stag Knights as well. So decent choice there, and he managed to protect them rather nicely. Branch Wraith, 955 damage value, the majority of that probably coming from that one beautiful pendulum dropped on those Wild Riders. Waystalker, 1178 damage value. As for Eternal Guard, I mean 700 value is not too shabby, but elsewhere, they just did their job. Held in the line, pinning the enemy, kind of the Dryads across the board as well as the Eternal Guard, the mid to lower hundreds for the damage value. As for the Deepwood Scouts, 630, 400, 599, and 795 damage value. Pretty decent work from them, nothing too crazy, but again, they kept the enemy at bay and allowed him to get those real crucial strikes, which is often what this mirror match comes down to, is who gets the better of the engagements. Both, obviously, Wood Elves are incredibly fast, and they kind of, as a whole, I'd argue, as a faction, are all about those precision strikes, and Wood Elves versus Wood Elves, even more so, that is important. Blade Riders, 679, 157 damage value. The Wild Riders have 120 kills, 1.7k damage value, 468 and 884. So this standout unit of Wild Riders been absolutely boss mode. As for KAALHAARMAN, the Glade Lord up in the sky, still got 1,000 damage value, is considerably cheaper as well than the Sisters, just coming on his Eagle. It did mean, though, he couldn't really push forward and engage them. He had to kind of wait and hope that his double Deepwood Scouts, which isn't that much, could drag them down from long range. Branch Wraith, only 17 value as well. The Dryads did struggle across the board, getting again that mid to lower hundreds damage value. Even the Wardens, which is quite a nice pick here, 685 damage value on them. Deepwood Scouts, 700 value and 1.1k. So yeah, the Swiftshield Shards certainly outperforming their enemy, but at the same time, they just didn't have the numbers to really compete there. Glade Riders across the board did not do too great, unfortunately, in the lower hundreds for the values, getting overwhelmed by the more elite Wild Riders. Their own Wild Riders, 460, 733, 1,398, and 779 damage value. That last one there was for the Sisters of Thorn. So as for the Regiment Renowned, both these guys did go for the Wraiths of the Frozen Heart. Both these guys went for the Wild Hunters of Kurnos. But then we had the switch up. So instead, we had the Winterheart Guard versus the Wardens of Sith Row. It's really fun, actually, to see these Ultra Funds tournaments and the differences it makes to the meta. And it can sometimes be pretty huge. And that was certainly an awesome game. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. It was a good, fun cast. Always good to cast, FELKON games or KAALHAARMAN games. They're always really enjoyable. Love having these guys on the channel. And hope you guys do, too. So until next time, peace, peace. And as always, stay awesome.